Very big welcome to you, my dear Pisces, and always a big welcome to those who felt like this full moon in Pisces is having a message for them as well, because it does. We all feel what's happening up in the sky, the sun in Virgo, or the constellation Virgo behind the sun when we look at it, and behind the moon, the constellation Pisces when we look at it. So the sun that is now in the lantern of Virgo is highlighting you, my dear Pisces. And what's beautiful here about this story is that Virgo is your shadow side. And now Virgo is in the light, and Virgo is giving you the light. And usually you are dark, right? You only have light because the sun is giving you the light, and respectively each zodiac sign is giving you its light, its full moon. And nevertheless, this combination is more important to you than all the other full moons, because Virgo is opposite of you 6 months. And so if you can integrate what Virgo stands for, and of course Virgo can integrate what you stand for, then you're becoming quite a fulfilled human being. And that's what it's all about. So both mutable and earth and water, giving each other the power. Water needs earth to be contained, and earth needs water to be fruitful, to be growing things. So I think this full moon is going to be really important for you, my dear Pisces, because you're gonna really understand the bigger picture here. Also because Virgo is highlighting the big path of 25,800 years, which the Earth does as a left spinning wobble. And nevertheless, we have the 365 days that the Earth turns around the Sun, and we have a 29-day and 12-hour cycle, which is what I use to do the reading, right? That small cycle is where I define the day when I do the reading. And today, right now, at this very moment, the moon is full 100%. And so this is your reading. The yoga position that I did for Virgo is Tadasana, mountain pose with Namaste. Past and present is looking at each other, and here in the center is the present moment. It's in that cosmic egg we again and again awaken to the present moment. For you, I did fish pose, up dog, down dog. Up dog is looking into the big cycle, down dog is looking into the small cycle. Nevertheless, he has himself positioned towards the big cycle, but doesn't know, but somehow intuitively knows. And this is positioned into the small cycle, but is opening itself so much up that it looks up into the moon. And so here the connection happens. Also, Pisces is looking into or opening itself to the small cycle, but the feet or that which walks him goes into the big cycle. This is the card for Pisces. If you're born between February 8th and March 11th, you are the Knight of Cups. This is your court card if it comes up in the reading. And you see you go also into the small cycle. So all the cards that are from the 22 major arcana have no zodiac sign connected with it. I read from right to left. The big cycle, the soul cycle. And then from Aries on, from the Emperor on, I read until Pisces, you, I read from left to right. And so you go from left to right. You go the 365 cycles searching for love, holding the Holy Grail, and being bewinged by it, by that search. Your last reading, where the sun was in Leo, the message was humbleness makes you strong, and the muse of the new age. You had Aquarius. You had here the lady that is in the water, like you, connected to the emotions. And the other card is from the Creativity Oracle. There is no number, but it's clear that the moon is in there and is highlighting you and giving you the message of staying humble. Because you are the age of Pisces that is ending, and even though you're ending, you feel empowered by it. And so Virgo has been in the shadow side for 2,150 years, and nevertheless Virgo is here now giving you the light. So let's begin. We have, of course, 22 major arcanas lying here. This is a path that is coming from the last reading into this and then goes into the next. So I'm creating a circular energy when you see these readings. On the position of the Fool comes the Page of Wands, young generation that is eager to create. And you can see he looks into the small cycle. And somehow he is not aware yet of the big cycle, because he's eager to live this life here. And so either you are eager to live this life here as well, either you are for right now focused in other things than spiritual energy, which is okay, because not everybody can awaken at the same time, otherwise we had chaos out there. So yeah, you are looking into the small cycle and you saying, let's do it. Action, right? You're coming out of emotions, you want to do, you want to actively do, because maybe you're inspired by the youth. These are all three fire signs, Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius. Let's continue and see what else is coming. So we're going now, of course, from right to left. And you don't see that there's the ghost dance behind you, but somehow maybe you, on the position of the magician, realize that right now that's not your goal to go in that direction. And the magician, of course, is also a mental thing in our head. And so there is a blurriness behind you. Maybe you left the blurriness. Maybe you're just coming out and said to yourself, well, I'm turning the back on this right now. 22, it's a path or a portal. 2 times the same number. 2 times 2 is creativity and sexuality, and sexuality is creating creativity. And remember the fogginess, right? Remember that something is, making you turn the other way. On the position of the High Priestess comes the Hermetic Tarot, the 5 of Wands, black and white, very intense cards. And the 5 of Wands is Saturn in Leo. Saturn is the elder, Saturn is the one that knows, and Leo is the one that is creatively challenged or challenging you. And so even though the path goes now from right to left, You are for some reason here, or there is a young generation that has turned its back on you. And you can see here is a Leo. And of course, this could be a Leo, this could be a Sagittarius or an Aries. Let's see. Let's see what else is coming. On the position of the Empress comes Gemini, the Lovers. And on the big path, from right to left, you feel though as the self-love that comes through the Lovers, l'amoureux, these are French cards, comes the awareness that you go from 5 to 6. If I calculate the 22 together, it's a 4, so it's 4, 5, 6. So there's a succession going on, but you are not seeing that. So the portal here is blurry. The portal of the magician, that inner knowledge, that we know is coming through meditation to us. So 4, 5, 6. Nevertheless, I keep it 22, the portal, and here the 5, and then the 6, the Gemini. That crossing of the arms. My right side is connected with the left side of the brain, and my left side is connected with the right side of the brain. And when we look at the wands, they are crossed. One is in the center, coming down. One is crossing, and the other one is as well. So there are 4 wands, and the central wand is pointing up to the sun and saying that's where you need to go. Actually, no, it's not pointing up to the sun. It's the sun coming down. The energy is coming down in this strive, in the challenge that you feel that sometimes spirituality has for us. Spiritual energies can be changed here, right? There is then the ones that say our God is the only God. Our spiritual path is the only path. And there's so many. And the true love for yourself will make you go that path. And when love comes, you don't understand sometimes why you love her more than you love her, even though both of them want you. And so there's a path, you see that? And the error that's coming down, love, a certain love for a spiritual practice cannot be explained why it is the way it is. It just speaks to you more than another practice. And so I think this is what's coming at you, is that you learning to maybe define yourself. Because as you can see, he was here turning its back. And so now you're here standing and realizing, okay, maybe I gotta turn my back in the other way. And when you see him, right, he's not aware of all of that. Let's say if I put him here, then he's looking over at her. I always love that, like when they have, what if they had a conversation, what would they say? And then here, she's looking down, like you are looking down. Though in between is this, the 5, the test. A test for self-love, test for, am I worth it? Of course you are. Let's continue. So now we begin with Aries. And we read from left to right. So I'm going to place the cards this way. And letting you know that something is too much in the way you handle things. Saturn in Sagittarius, in the mind of all the things that you think you have to do. Something is way too much. Burn up, burn out. Let yourself arrive in knowing that you are enough. You don't need anything. You don't need anything, and allow this passage of creating whatever it is that you want to create as an emperor in the month of Aries or with an Aries. Allow that to take place. But remember, the 1 and the 0 is always, it's too much doing. Too much doing. So you have 5 wands and 10 wands, which is then 15 wands, which is then again a 6. Then comes a 6-6 portal through the l'amoureux, and the 15 wands, which is then becoming a 6. But 15 is Capricorn, is doing too much, is being bound to the physical doing. And then of course you have another one here, which then makes it 16, which is then the Tower. On the position of the High Priest comes 4 of Pentacles, which is Sun in Capricorn. And Sun in Capricorn is the success, the holding on to the success. You did so much, but you gained so little. You're standing on these two, you're holding, and again, have a look how he's holding the coin. Right? It's his right arm that is below and his left arm that is upholding the coin. So the right is supporting him, his mind is supporting him in the outer world, and the spiritual is supporting him in the inner world. And one is then the right or the left path. And he is looking, of course, if we put this here, he's not looking up, he's just going. If you go really the path of right to left, you would also walk by. You wouldn't really, here you would walk into that, or you would walk by and be like, you don't even see this. Okay. Then on the position of Gemini comes Gemini, the Knight of Swords, running away to liberation, a deeper liberation, something that says, no, I don't want this. It's not me. I want to go. I want to do. And since you're a knight, you like to do. All the knights like to do. So you're going. Maybe you have a friend, a Gemini, as a friend who is very fast and you follow him. He doesn't have a horse anymore, he has a motorcycle. And on the position of the Chariot comes Aquarius, the King of Swords, letting yourself be brought, in the month of Cancer, letting yourself be brought to a higher mental state, to see the Age of Aquarius as that possibility to be fast. It's different fast. This is the Knight and this is the King. The King delegates the people, mentally sharp. He does it himself. He's like, okay, I'm gonna go myself. He delegates others to do what he thinks people should be doing. And so you have here, very interesting, the movement of things that you did yourself and now you are able to delegate people to do for you. On the position of Leo, or the month of Leo, comes the Three of Swords. And Leo's connection is to know that I have that higher consciousness to incorporate dualities, the wild side, the gentle side, into one. And the three, nevertheless, is that there is a story happening, Saturn in Libra. And so there is a Gemini, there's an Aquarius, and there's a Libra. And you have a Gemini here. You have definitely a Gemini here because you have the Soul card of Gemini and you have the Court card of Gemini. The Three of Swords is always that you don't realize that you have attached yourself to another person, but you are the one that is important, and that's what's speaking here in the Gemini card. He's crossing himself in front of this path and this path, the blonde one and the brunette one. He's going the path of love that is making him happy. And so it's really interesting how there are two people in the card, three people basically, of course the angel up there. And now comes the Three of Swords, which is always kind of like a little bit like there is a triangle, a love triangle happening. But I don't like to read that like that. I read it also like you gotta really look at yourself and be like, okay, you continue this path and you continue to look forward, and the only way out is action. Thinking about things make us, and the only way out is action, and that's here coming through Virgo. Virgo, who is usually not an active person, is saying, gotta get that want, you gotta validate your life, you gotta look at yourself and be like, okay, continue. And you can see how there is this cutting the grass, right, with this blade, cutting off the things and holding the wand and saying, okay, I stop thinking I want to be me, and that me is going forward, and I leave all the other things behind me. I also leave this behind me. It's almost like you're coming out of this ghost dance into the three. Into the three that says, okay, I don't want, then I go into the one. I don't want three, I want one. Because on the position of the Wheel of Fortune comes the moon dance, the 4. And the 4 is moon dance, ghost dance. Something that is, this moon is asking you to continue. And you see how she's continue forward, and she's almost like she's like letting go these 3 birds. And she's just letting the moon guide her. And these 3 birds, she's leaving. Though she's still walking in this direction, but somehow she is finding that she is this one active energy, and she's saying, okay, I'm gonna pass by this and look at it one more time. Right, it's very interesting. So she's like, okay, she's continuing her path, guided by the moon, because the moon is in its sign, is at home. And you're at home. So now you can walk this thin line and even look at that and be like, okay, yeah, don't mind. That's been below me. That's behind me. I don't want that anymore. Because if you come, you continue, right? Or if you hear, you will also say, it's about me. It's about me. I let go and I'm continuing my path, even though I have to tiptoe, even though I have to look at it again. But here you have it now behind you. Here you would have it in front of you, knowing, okay. And it's really interesting how one leg is up and one is on the, and one leg is down and one is up in the past. So you're here. You let this go. Moving forward into the month of Libra comes the Prince of Wands, the Knight of Wands, now a specific Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is coming towards you and is saying, hey. But Sagittarius is also looking away from you. Sagittarius is facing the big path, and you going there gently, and here comes this wild energy at you. And of course, Libra is always that justice, but there's no justice. There just is preciseness. And how precise can you be? You need to be very precise to continue your path. And here comes Sagittarius. Also a knight. And he has also wings. See that? He's an angel of fire. You're an angel of water. But you're getting along. Because you're both knights. One is fire, one is water. It's the most difficult combination there is fire and water. It's almost impossible to mix that. But when it mixes, it's the aha moment. Because that aha moment brings then the tiger eye on the position of the hanged man, that I am releasing, I am liberating the tiger eye, looking deeply at it, and it's the number 55, which is then a portal. And so here you had a 5, so then you have 3 times 5. Three times 5 is the power to know that tests the physical, the pentagram, the 5-pointed star is that human existence here on earth. And he's coming at you. Remember, that's coming at you. It's almost like you're like, oh my God, this is what's gonna happen. This is gonna happen to me. So maybe you go into this position, you don't want to be water anymore, and you're like, okay, I had enough of water. I want to be fire, and you're going tiptoeing over there into this chariot, and you look over where you're coming from. See that? The pyramids. Because on the position of Scorpio comes Cancer, the Queen of Cups. And Cancer is water, and water is deep healing, deep transformation, a transformation that brings out of you the prehistoric Venus from Willendorf, one of the oldest figures that we could find. And she's this goddess of fertility as the Queen of Cups. So you looking at the transformation through the Sagittarius, through the tiger eye, to realize that you learning and growing and shifting your consciousness through the fire. So it's like he's looking over to her, because I mean, this is below, right? This is outside. So this is now Libra and Scorpio. And this is here below. So there's again fire and water happening. Fire and water, again, that difficult combination. Water and earth now. On the position of Sagittarius comes the Ace of Pentacles, the native Indian, and you climbing up and reclaim your position as the angel, as that stability, climbing up. The 1 and the 4, right? Because this is the 4, the 1, and Sagittarius is 14. And here comes the Sagittarius. Here was the Sagittarius. And so now the position here is, if you follow and if you let yourself be guided, then things are shifting and changing. Because on the position of Capricorn comes the 8 of Wands. And the 8 of Wands is Mercury in Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is doing something to you in the month of Capricorn. And you just want to go. You want to grow. You want to move. You want to experience. You've been inspired. You got the fire. You don't want to be water anymore. You are using really the successful energy of pushing and moving through things, and God is helping you to see the financial perspective in there, the new financial perspective in there, if you dare to climb up to it. Because the Tower is saying, then you let your guard down, and it's going to happen really fast. It's almost like something is attacking the Tower up here, you see that? And then the oyster is by being attacked, and the attack is usually sand that creates then the pearl, the knowledge, the wisdom that we gain from deep within of all difficulties we go through, is making us beautiful from within. And that's what the oyster stands for, this treasure that you gotta find and that you gotta open. And it's a water again. Water, it's almost like you are opening yourself up really fast through this Sagittarius, through also a Cancer and a healer coming to you. And of course you have Aquarius and you have Gemini. So you have Gemini, you have Aquarius, you have Sagittarius, you have Cancer. And now you even have then the female emperor on the position of Aquarius, the star. Then you can truly reign, then you can truly be someone that's not feeling burdened by Aries. The action of Aries. Aries tells us, come on, do this, do that. But you are learning to say, no, I don't want. I don't want. I am here, I'm good. I want to do other things. I want to learn, I want to grow. I want to grow even more. I want to learn more. And yes, I got a little bit hurt. Maybe it was you and Aquarius and a Gemini. Because we had on the position of the Empress, we had Gemini, the lovers. So then you can really be a king, an emperor, because you know your worth and you know that you can, whatever it is you do, you can do it. And then your position comes here, mindful, the group thinking. And this is now interesting, right? So we go, the small cycle, Aquarius, the Empress, the female emperor, into then things that she knows she has to do because she has all these people attached to her. And now you come as Pisces, and the circle, the small circle, has closed here, because then comes again Aries. Okay? So here we can see that there's something bothering you. There's too much going on. And that you gotta look deeper into all the things that we can do in one day. 24/7 you are occupied, and you don't realize how much there is to do when you are in this position. But now you realize. Now, I'm going to read it the other way. We go from the age of Pisces. We're going this way from right to left into the age of Aquarius. If you have your mind full and don't know that it's too much, then you are not able to really liberate yourself in the age of Aquarius. You're not going to be able to rule whatever it is you want to rule. And you can see how these people are attached to her. So you got to look deeper into how you think, because you have Gemini as that thinker, and you have Aquarius as that thinker. Right? And you have the Three of Swords. There is something that's just... And a lot of doing. You have 8 wands. So you have 10, 18, and another 5 are 23 wands. Plus, this wand is then 26. So there's 26 things to do. And this one, 27, and calculated together is a 9. 9. It's almost like Virgo is giving you quite things to do. And he has a wand too, 27, 28, 10. 10 wands. So 10 wands in the Wheel of Fortune, walking over and realizing, yeah, you gotta be careful. Because then on the position of the Sun comes this liberation. A true liberation of something that is happening deep within you, in your core. Your inner core, the number 18, which is then 9. So the Sun in Virgo then creates a 9-9 portal. And you are liberating yourself through the help of Virgo. You are liberating yourself out of things that you think you have to do. Because then on the position of the Judgment, or the Inspiration, or the moment that we transition from one dimension into the next, comes this lady who also goes in this direction. And it says direction. Then you need direction, like switch gears, reboot, and try a new and different direction. The number 39, which is then a 12. And you see how the bird is liberating itself. And you see how there is one face this way and one face that way. And she's like, I'm going this way. Redirecting, because yes, at the beginning you didn't really want it to go this way. But we're learning. And what are you learning? Jupiter in Capricorn, you're learning to balance these two lives. You're learning to balance these two lives. You're learning to dance. And you're learning to dance like here in the world. She's dancing as well. And she's saying, yes, this is what life does to us. We are learning. We are continuing. And we are seeing that here the world is looking at the Fool physically. She's in this direction. And you can see how she's putting her head up, and it's almost like she's looking up and she's lying, yeah. The World and the Fool create then the circle, and I'm right in the center, and I'm lifting one leg up, particularly the right leg. I'm lifting one leg up, particularly the right leg. And here's the left leg. Yeah, it's interesting, right? So all the different styles of how they position them, which leg is up, which way they're looking, makes me read the card, right? And then in combination with the others. So you understand that life is a constant shift of coming and going. There's constant cycles. If I take the right cycle or the left cycle, it doesn't matter. Because you're looking over at him and say, hey, here I am again. And here you are. Right? Facing this reality. And something is closing and you're content. Sometimes it doesn't have to be such a big message, but the message is clear. Stay connected with who you truly are. Stay connected. Walk your path. And have a look at all the things that come into your life and see how you're juggling. See how you manage the small circle and the big circle. See that you are getting the message. However you do it your way. Yeah, even though sometimes it seems like there's a lot of happening, the 4 and the 0. So in a way it could be also this, the 4-4. But it could also be the 4-4 here. And you realize, okay, maybe I have to let go of the things that I'm doing. I give myself a new direction. And in that new direction, I coming into the balance of all. Yeah? So then, I hope I see you in the next reading, because then when the Earth is turning, we see on the position of Libra, here this Knight of Wands coming at you, Sagittarius, and is saying, let's go, let's do it. Let's create magic. Until then, I wish you a beautiful meditation today on your full moon. And I'm going to use definitely this card. Stay true to who you are. Find that in your meditation. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.